Hello again, and welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. This is a great week. It's championship week here in Tulsa. The 5A and 6A basketball championships are being played in the Tulsa area. The 4A is over in Oklahoma City. And we're also going to have two of our soccer coaches on as that season has really started. So stay with us, and we'll be back in just a moment with championship week in Tulsa. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our first guest today is the head soccer coach, the head boys soccer coach at East Central High School, Connor Whitham. Connor, boy, it's soccer season, isn't it?
It's here.
Well, I'm telling you, just got to come. Kind of snuck up on us this year because the weather has been so different.
Yeah.
You know?
I always say, though, that the minute it starts getting real cold, preseason's here.
Time for soccer.
Time for preseason because it'll be cold for those first 2 weeks, and then it starts to
Absolutely.
level out and become spring a little bit.
Well, you know, we got that, and then we can start play, and then we're 2 weeks, and we had spring break.
Mhm.
You know, how does that affect your coaching to have that break in there like that?
You know, it's tough because with our kids, a lot of them work jobs, and so spring break, we'll have practices, but we won't be able to practice every day. We might have 3 practices or so. And so we always try to schedule a game right when we get back from spring break to kind of get us ready for district play.
Mm-hmm.
We usually schedule a good team, but it's a team that we know that is going to give us a challenge, but that we should be able to work on some stuff and kind of knock the rust off before we get into our district play.
You know, that's interesting because I can remember about 7 years ago, there was talk of us going to year-round school.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my friends over in Oklahoma City. I said, tell me about that year-round school. He said, oh, it's terrible. Said in the fall, you got 3 weeks off. In the spring, you got 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
So we lose our kids. We don't even know where they are. I can imagine 3 weeks off as opposed to 1 week. It would be difficult. But so you really have had a really, really good program, you know, for a long time at East Central. Have a lot of participants. What do you think the key ingredients to staying consistently at the top like you have been for your teams?
I think a lot of it is just really consistency when it comes to leadership. So when I was a player at East Central, the head coach was Josh Diamond, and then I went to college and then came back and worked for Josh. Was his assistant for a few years. And so things were consistent. And then whenever he left and took a new job, he told, you know, the principal and our AD and stuff and said, hey, just hire Connor. Just give the job to Connor because that way there's consistency. And I think that we've been able to provide that consistency of the way that we want to play, as well as the assistance that we've had, and our leadership has just been that way. And then our principal and our administrators have given us the freedom to run the program the way that we want to run the program because it's led to success and sustained success for a long time now.
Well, when you have that support from your athletic director and your principal, it makes it easier to do your job on a daily basis. You have a lot of student athletes that come out for soccer.
Yeah.
How difficult it is to pick that group that you want to keep with you?
You know, it's really, really difficult. I had 25 guys returning, about 25 guys that returned. So, you know, I take them automatically. Then I have a couple days worth of tryouts. And I think this year we had somewhere between 50 and 60 kids try out, which means I have 85 kids to pick from. But, you know, we only have one stipend for an assistant, and so it's just 2 of us. And so we can really only take about 40. And I have about 37 on the roster now. So it's really, really hard to just narrow it down. But you've got to kind of pick the kids that, okay, maybe they're not going to play for a couple of years. They'll be on the JV program and we'll develop them. But their junior and senior year, we can really get a lot out of them. And when we put them in our system, by the time they get to their junior year, they're ready. They're ready for that top level. And plus, they've been wanting to be that top level because we've been good and doing well as a program.
Well, I think that's important too. You know, you talk about role players. Everybody needs to know what their role is. You know, your role is you're going to get ready, you're going to be a backup, and then you'll have your turn. When it's your turn, you got to step up at that point. Who are some of your players that are going to be key to your success this year?
So I have this group of brothers. His name is Angel and one is Hector. Hector's a senior, his brother's a sophomore. Hector has started for us since his sophomore year. Scored our goal in the state championship when we were there a couple of years ago. He scored the only goal that we've ever scored in the state championship game. He can do it all. And his brother is just a little bit younger, but the same way, can do it all. Our offense kind of runs through those two guys. Then we've got a couple guys, they're seniors. One is Alejandro Flores and one is Ari Lopez, play in the midfield for us, and they're just scrappy little guys. They work hard, they know their role. Exactly like you said, they know their role, they know their job, and they do their job. And so those four are kind of big key kind of cogs to what we do as a team. If we can get them free and doing the right things, then we can be successful this year.
Well, who are you going to have to beat in your district to win it all?
So Rogers is in our district. They're really a good team. They have some good players. They've got good coaching as well. And in our district also as well, we have Claremore. They're a good school as well. And then on the other district, of course, there's Bishop Kelly, who they've been our nemesis for the last few years, and Edison's over there as well. And we play Memorial tomorrow night, a good team. So there's a lot of good teams. And what I tell my guys is, when you play at East Central, you always get everybody's best shot.
Absolutely.
They'll play their best game against you, so we can never afford to take nights off and look over opponents.
Right.
And so it's a difficult task, but we try hard.
That's good to have that target, though, isn't it?
It is. It is.
It's better than somebody circling that game on their schedule and said, we can win this.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to soccer season every year. You know, it's really become a major sport in Tulsa Public Schools, Ed, with your effort and the efforts of Mark Dover, and then at one time John Croissant and that crew, and Josh.
Yes.
We owe a great deal for our soccer programs to those folks, and as well as you. But congratulations, have a good year this year.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we're going to have Mark Dover, the head coach and athletic director at Memorial.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Today we have the head girls soccer coach and director of athletics at Memorial High School, Mark Dover. Mark, boy, soccer season's here.
It's here.
My goodness, the spring is sprung, and the weather is 40 degrees one day and 80 the next. So it certainly is spring. But moving over from the boys program to the girls program, let's talk about that a little bit.
It's considerably different. We with the boys program, I was a part of that program whenever I went through Memorial, and so it held a special place in my heart. But the girls program, we're trying to increase participation, increase a new culture, and I think my assistant and I have done well so far doing that. It is a little bit different. The girls aren't quite used to it, but they're responding really positively.
Good. Well, my son switched over from coaching college baseball one time to coaching high school fast pitch. And he said, how do you do that? I said, just coach them. You coach kids. There are differences in the gender, though, the way you address certain things. So far, how does your season shape up? You got some returning starters and so on?
Yeah, we've got 5 seniors, 4 of which have started all 4 years. We've got girls that are getting offers now, and so that's something that we're really looking forward to continuing for the rest of the season. We've got a lot of freshmen in our program. Like I said, we're trying to build numbers up, and the freshmen are stepping up, and I think we start at least one every game, and then we've got some coming in off the bench that are, they're doing a great job progressing as the season goes on. We had a really great positive preseason. It went 1-1-1. We lost in PKs to a team, but it's been really, really positive so far.
Well, that's good. Who in your district, who do you think will be the team you have to beat to win it?
Oh, our district's really strong this year. It's more of a travel district. We've got Shawnee, who's always got a great program, and Carl Albert and McAllister and Durant. And those places aren't easy to play at. But we've also got some really strong teams like Edison. That anytime you talk about soccer, Edison's one of the teams that gets brought up really. So
you do have some travel with Durant, McAllister, and Shawnee.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Do you have them all on the road this year?
No, not all on the road. Luckily, we've got Durant and Carl Albert coming to us in April, but we have to go down to McAllister and drive down to Shawnee to play at a really tough stadium there.
Yeah, I was a football coach at McAllister, so it's always tough to go into McAllister. And, but to go on the road like that, and when our kids are not really accustomed to an hour and a half on the bus or 2 hours on the bus to get there, does that make a difference, you think, in their playing?
I think it does make a little bit of a difference. That's why we try to get there early, do field walkthroughs, stretch our legs before we suit out into our uniforms. And you plan, as a coach, you plan for that, though. You plan on eating, trying to keep everything as similar as it would be for a home game or a short distance away game. But you just try to make it as normal as possible.
It's interesting. I remember back in the days, long probably before you remember, Chuck Fairbanks was the head football coach at Oklahoma, and they flew out the morning of the game. They did not want to be anywhere but in that bed on Friday night. They would get a charter flight that morning to fly wherever they needed to, and so he was really a proponent on keeping everything the same. That's one of those things. Well, who are your leaders, and who are some of the stars this year?
So our captains, all three of them are seniors: Allery Hammer, Stephanie Martinez, and Sabrina Garcia. Like I said, they've started for 3 years now. They're starters as fourth year. We have a center midfielder that's really good, Anissa Reboyar, and she's not a captain, but she's definitely an on the field, in the locker room leader. And she started to get offers for colleges, so we're looking forward to watching her play. I've got two great juniors, Shay Chippis and Kiara Joseph, that have really stepped up for the last 2 years, and they certainly contribute to our game plan every single game.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you mentioned you have kids being recruited. Who are some of the schools that are recruiting?
Right now we're looking at some JUCOs, but also we're talking to NCAA Division II. We've got a couple NAIA offers, and so just all of the publicity that we can get from those schools it's extremely positive for the student athletes.
Well, and for the school, I think everything helps. I think people until they've actually experienced one of our signing days. And when they see all the people in the room and what it means to those families and everything, and what it means to the school,
right?
It's a very, very important thing, I think. This year we're planning on having the second signing day, that April signing day,
right?
As we have the original. Now that we have so many signing days during the year, we've got the early signing and then the regular signing and so on. But I think it's great for the kids to be able to be involved in that. What's your next big ball game coming up?
Actually, we play East Central tomorrow. It's always it's really developed into a friendly rivalry. The boys program, they're always competitive, and the girls program is always a really close game. It's physical, it's fun. We're friends with their coaches and just respect them.
Where
a lot.
Do you play that?
We play that at La Fortune.
At La Fortune. Well,
yes.
That's a home game.
Yes, yes.
Right. Tough to play at East Side sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Always. Always. They bring out the crowd.
They sure do. Well, Mark, thank you for being here, and good luck this year. I hope everything goes well. And when we come back, we're going to have Bobby Allison, his head boys basketball coach, who's going to the state tournament again.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue our championship travel through the 5A and 6A and 4A state championships. And now the head basketball coach at Memorial High School, Bobby Allison. Bobby, boy, how many trips in a row have you made?
7 for me and 8 for the program. It never gets old, and each journey's been different to get here, and it's what you work for to play your last game in the state tournament for the seniors. So here we are.
I think it's always great as you get into the season and you play those early games and you kind of wonder where you are and how you're going to improve through the year. And then you get to the regional and the intensity level steps up a little bit.
Doubt.
In the area, it really steps up. And now this week, you're all in.
No doubt. One thing that, it helps us is that every game that somebody goes against Memorial, they treat it like a state tournament game. Oh, yeah. So out of our 26 games this year, I bet 22 of them we've gotten the other team's best shot. And we let the kids know come playoff time that now they're all about to get our best shot. We've taken some punches, we've taken some great competition, and now it's kind of the same for us. And in some aspects, it might be different for other teams because they're not. Everybody's getting everybody's best shot in the playoffs, and we get everybody's best shot in the regular season, and we're humbled by that, but it also strengthens us for these runs. So I think that's helped us this year.
I think what's important, and you made that statement, and you've scheduled that way, Conley scheduled that way. If you want to be the best, you got to play the best.
Yeah, no.
You can't get any better playing lesser competition.
No doubt.
I think that's important to take anything on, anytime, anywhere.
No doubt.
And that's
and it exposes you. Anybody can be a bully. Anybody can be a bully, but you get to the state tournament, you got to know what you are in a real fight.
I think a lot of it goes back to the premise that I've always used is if you're not willing to fail, you're not willing to be successful.
Amen. I completely agree.
You've got to be there. You got to do things that, the successful person does things that the unsuccessful person will not do.
I totally agree.
At the end of the day, and I think that's what you ask your student athletes to do, and they've done it. I think they play with a lot of enthusiasm, and I think there's a lot to the legacy of Memorial basketball.
No doubt, Gil.
Talk about that with your kids.
No, they, especially this time of year, they kind of get a sense of being part of history. And, we talk about it throughout the season, but it really culminates this time of year because we're trying to say March is about Memorial is March, and trying to make all those connections to the past. And, we say, let's go out there. And, we've talked about class of 17 or 16 or even 94 and beyond. We talked about certain plays that they made happen that are memories for a lifetime. And that's what these opportunities are in March and in the playoffs, to go make memories and to be part of a legacy. And I think it was an awesome quote you just said that I'm probably going to use today in practice is, don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. You can't, now, if you do what you're supposed to prior to tip-off, now it's time to go.
You got to lay it all out.
You got to lay it all out there because there shouldn't be any regrets.
That's right. You can't. Don't go. I was saying I wish I had. That's not.
No. You can't do that during spring break.
No. That's the key. Well, let's talk about some of the players that have gotten you here, and then let's talk about your first round draw.
Senior class has done an amazing job. These seniors came in 4 years ago. All 5 of them: Jordan Fortenberry, Ethan Buckman, Will Hill, Brayshawn Finch, and Kayvon Key. And they practiced and they suited up with some great players, being Caleb Nero or Kobe Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Shamar Walker, Corey Guest, the Boone twins, James Alexandre. And what I'm so proud of them this year is that they've played with all those players, they've practiced with all these players. And those players are all now 20 to 21 and 22 years old, and they're doing great things in college. Well, then now they're being seniors and they're making passes and plays to Ty Frierson or Seth Pratt or Jalen Tucker or Jawan Provitt, Monte Collins, Jalen Rollerson, and those kids are 15 and 16. So you got a group that's played with 22-year-olds that are, and then they've linked the legacy. And for them to be able to do that and to trust those kids, You know, it's one thing to trust the Boones. Now it's another thing to trust Seth Pratt and Ty Frierson, and they've done that, and that's why we're here.
Next man up.
No, that's exactly right.
So talk about your first round.
Well, we got a tough draw. We got who we played last year in the first round, Lawton Mack. They got most of their players back from last year. They struggled early in the year because they had 3 or 4 of their top 5 hurt. But they're fully healthy. I think they've averaged close to about 85 points a game since Christmas break. And their only 2 losses are to Dale City, who's the #1 team maybe in the whole state in 5A, and Lawton Original, who was the #1 seed in 6A West. So they've beaten a lot of good teams. They've never lost to a bad team since they got healthy. So they got our full attention on Thursday, 3:30 at Skytook.
Well, listen, good luck.
I appreciate it.
Glad you're back there again,
No
Bobby.
doubt,
And
no doubt. We don't take it for granted.
Championship week is always a special week.
Yep.
Stay with us as we come back with Michael Parish, the head boys basketball coach at Thomas Edison High School.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Michael Parish, the head boys basketball coach, assistant athletic director at Edison High School, and come off a big win in the area tournament after a good regional tournament. Man, it's an exciting time of the year, isn't it, Mike?
It never gets old. State tournament, making the state tournament. Just so proud that these young men that have worked so hard will get the opportunity to experience it.
It really is a different time. The intensity level ratchets up, and you can almost feel it each week, from the regional to the area to this week. Now it's all there, and you know they spend their whole career sometimes trying to get to the state tournament. For some, it's an annual thing. For others, it's a once in a lifetime. But you want to make the experience as good as possible. And you've come through some exciting games. And talk about your regional and area of triumphs getting to the state tournament.
This year we were lucky enough to have another home regional. Last year we did not take advantage of that and got beat in the regional final. This year we were able to win our regional final against Bishop Kelly, who you know, they'd had a lot of injuries this year, but seem to be playing their best basketball right now. And we trailed for 3.5 quarters and ended up having a really good fourth quarter into the game, and were able to celebrate at home, win the home regional. And then it gave us Tahlequah in the area, who we had played once before. They got a really good basketball team, and we were behind again at halftime and had a really good second half. So kids just stayed the course, and you know, our word coaches-wise was to grind through bad calls, grind through momentum's changes, and just try and keep our eye on the prize, the big picture. And I thought the kids did a good job of that.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, you know, when you beat a team that's going to be in the state tournament,
yes,
you know, they went through the losers bracket, so you never know who may qualify when you get through this point. You know, you got to be lucky, keep everybody well.
And upsets happen.
And upsets happen all the time. They certainly do. Ask Baylor. They've lost 3 out of the last 5.
Sure.
You know, so as you go into the state tournament, how do you feel about your draw?
Shawnee, we saw them at Bishop Kelly. I think they're very similar to us in a sense. I do feel like it's a winnable game for us. We'll have to play well, but Coach Ron Arthur from Shawnee, he does a fabulous job. I've known him a long time. He's a good friend of mine, and so getting to see them make the state tournament as well is nice to see your friends do that. But we feel good making the state tournament, and just going to go out and you know, work hard and go play.
Well, on the other side of the bracket, wouldn't it be good if we had a Edison Memorial Final?
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be good for us.
We'd be guaranteed to keep the gold ball on TPS that way for sure.
You know, we did that about 4 years ago with Central and McLean.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bowlin, 5 years ago, Dr. Bowlin and I drove over, and I said, well, the greatest thing about today is we're bringing both of them back with us.
That's right.
You know. So as you get ready to play, are you well?
We're healthy. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. I feel like we have a good sense of who we are and what we're trying to do on the court. We're sharing the basketball. It's been a beautiful thing, actually. There's not any fussing inside the team with kids. You know, we are all on the same page, and that goes a long way when you're trying to make adjustments or you know, you have a mismatch in one area and it doesn't particularly favor maybe your best player, and for your best player to sacrifice his game sometimes for the betterment of the team, it just says a lot about you.
You know, one of the things that we always talk about in coaching or anything, whether it's business or in my business, you got to have the right people in the right position, and they need to know their role.
Right.
And if you find that, and evidently you have found that, you know, you have some people that come off the bench, some people who start the game. You have rebounders, you have people who go foul somebody, whatever. But the kids knowing that role, I think, makes a lot of difference. So who are some of the guys who are going to try to take you to that state championship?
Well, Mason Alexander has kind of been our go-to guy all year. He's about 6'6", 6'7", great athlete. He's averaging 19.5 and points a game and 10 rebounds a game. And then guard-wise, we're pretty got a lot of parity there. It's hard to focus in on one guard. Lottie Combs, Brandon Stewart, Quentin Asbury, Luke Parish, they all do a really good job and have different qualities to help our team. Scout Huggins is another one that plays for us. So very experienced, play 5 seniors. So it's a knowledgeable team, able to pick up adjustments on the fly. They do know their roles, and I think they play together, and I think they care about each other. And so when your team cares and wants to do well for his teammates, I really think you have something special.
Do you have, you feel pretty good depth going in?
I wish we had more depth. That's probably the one thing we're lacking. You know, it's funny you asked that. On Friday night, we got in a little bit of foul trouble in the first quarter. Mason got 2 fouls, and I took him out. I didn't play him the whole second quarter. We tried to slow the ball down to keep Tahlequah from pulling away from us, and which we were able to do. But Mason didn't play the whole second quarter with 2 fouls because I wanted to be able to let him play free in the second half. So depth has been an issue. We've got great size. We've got great perimeter players. Just trying to bring along some of those young guys to help us off the bench.
Well, that's great. You know, it was an exciting game, and you did slow it down a little bit. I know it's about 2 minutes of the first half was slowed down.
Well, I didn't want, while our best player was out, Tahlequah to run off on a 10-0 run and take off and leave us. So if we could slow them down and keep it close, it was better for our benefit.
Well, good luck this week in the
Coach.
state tournament. We're glad you're here. And coming up next, we'll have Gary Pitts, who's the head girls coach at East Central High School.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Air filter, cardboard box, toy car. The correct answer is cardboard box. Paper and cardboard are perfect for the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but air filters and toys should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue our championship trail to the championship here in Tulsa this week. We have Gary Pitts, who's the head girls basketball coach at East Central. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Boy, and welcome to the state tournament.
Yes, back again.
Isn't that great?
It is, it really is.
Tell us about your regional and area wins to get to where you are today.
I'll tell you, we started out with we started our regional wins. We lost we beat Collinsville. We beat Collinsville, and that was a tough game. They really prepared. They always give us a tough game in the past, and then we played Coweta and lost to Coweta by 6 points. They're really peaking at the right time, and then we turned around. We won our regional to Bishop Kelly, which we played 6 times in the last 2 years, which is hard to beat a team twice. So.
Much less 6 times.
Yes.
Well, you're right about Coweta because Coweta was in the Tournament of Champions a week after their coach had resigned, and so they've gone through that minutia of trying to get better, and so they did play well, and so of course in the area tournament that wasn't very exciting.
Yeah. I know I tell you what, that new coach they have is doing a really good job. They transitioned pretty quick, and so she's doing a great job with them now.
Excuse me. What about your win against Carl Albert?
We knew we had an advantage. I watched them the game before, and I knew they were kind of small and they liked to shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and so they were pretty quick. So our whole thing was to try to get the ball inside to our bigs and to make sure that we stay in a 3-2 zone and extend it and make sure that every shot they took was contested. And so I think we did a good job of doing that.
I think you did too. I was at that game, and the difference, your bigs inside really gave them trouble.
Yeah, they're pretty physical, and we told them if we could ever make people sink in on them, it'd open up some shots for our guards, and I think we hit a couple of threes because they were concentrating so much on the 2 bigs we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great game to watch from our standpoint.
Yes, it was.
It really was. So talk a little bit about the players that have gotten you back to the state tournament.
You know what? I got 10 seniors, and so the slate is clean after this year, and every last one of those girls have really wanted to get back to this game. TT Mitchell, which is the little point guard we have, she's always the engine that makes everything run. So she's a tough player. She plays almost every minute of the game. And then we have Shay Stone, a Rogers State commit, who's leader on the boards. And we actually have a young lady that's she's been going in and out of injuries, Bree Blakely, but she's one of our better defenders on there, and so we put her in and out to play the best player, the other team's best player. And we have A.A. Mack, who's she's a rebounding machine. I mean, she averaged probably 8 or 9 rebounds a game for 5'7".
Yeah,
so,
yeah. She's pretty tenacious fighting to the board.
She really is. And she hit a few threes in the game, 3 threes in a row in the game that really got us, kind of separated the lead after it was like 14-9, I believe, the first quarter. And she hit some threes and kind of extended the lead and made them have to play catch-up ball.
I think, Gary, that the 3-point shot has probably changed basketball more than any other thing.
Yes.
And looking to the future, what do you think about shot clock?
I would love a shot clock. I think it would speed the game up. I think it would actually make teams have to get into their sets a little quicker. And, I think right now the game is so slow, kind of like the game that was played before our game,
Yeah.
I think it was like in the teens at
31, 28, 15, 14 at the half.
Yeah. And I think teams get out of their game. If they get a 5-point lead and there's 4 minutes left, they stall. And it becomes a free throw shooting contest after that. Mm-hmm. And so it's not very fun to watch.
No, it isn't. And of course, I don't know how much fun it is to play.
It's not.
I know kids want to run and shoot.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Well, so as we get into this week, talk about your opening game.
It's going to be a tough one. We played them last year. They beat us by 5. I think it was 51-45, 51-46 or something like that last year. And they end up really playing the next 2 teams, the semifinals and the finals. They really beat them by double figures, and they beat us by 5. I think that was the toughest game. I knew going into it that if we could get past that, we had a really good chance, and we just didn't quite get over the hump. But coach well, got a good coach. Had a couple of sisters last year. One of them left. Still have one that's a really good 3-point shooter, and have some pretty physical players. So it'll be a good matchup for us.
And that team is?
Yes, Piedmont. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Piedmont.
Right. The Piedmont. I can remember when Piedmont probably 15 years ago was like a Class B school.
Yeah.
And that thing has grown. I mean, just exploded. And they've really put together a good athletic program.
Yes.
They have good football, good softball, good basketball. And it's interesting to play those folks. Well, you open up at what location?
We open up at Owasso.
At Owasso.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. So that's a good time. It's not
it
too
is.
early.
Prime time.
Yes, prime time. So I think the girls are ready. We just have to we just have to compete. I told them, things don't always happen the way in the course of a game, but you have to persevere through it and try to fight through it, and let's see what goes on after that. Just like the Bishop Kelly game, we got down by 12, 13 points and ended up coming back and winning by double figures. It's just you got to stay the course.
Well, like Yogi said, it's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over.
Exactly right. Well, Gary, good luck in the state tournament this week. And when we come back, we're going to have Carlin Adkism, the head girls basketball coach at Will Rogers High School.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hales means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Mini blinds, hanger, plastic bottle. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are great for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but mini blinds and hangers should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Carlin Adkism, the head girls basketball coach, Will Rogers High School. And Carlin, back to the state tournament.
Yes.
Tournament week. That's always a great weekend.
Yeah, it's a great feeling being back. It's tough to get there. It's tough to get there once, not alone going there the next year. But it was a good run. I thought the girls worked hard, and I think they deserve it.
Well, you had a good record.
Yeah.
You ranked number one in the state going in. Right. Of course, you always have a target when you're number one.
Definitely. Yeah.
How do the girls react to that, knowing that they're going to get the best game that other teams ever played every night?
I'm sure they see now, that we've been having these tough games, and the girls they have responded. They're responding to these tough games, and I think they kind of held that number one spot with a chip on their shoulder, but at the same time understanding you can be beat on any given night.
I think what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks watching you play is that they play really well together.
Yes. This has been my closest group by far. They never bicker in between each other, never gets down. Even when everything is going wrong, I've never seen them point the fingers, and I think that's a good sign.
That is very good.
Yes.
Of course, it comes from the coach too. I mean, you've got some involvement with that as well, and getting them prepared. So as you go into postseason play, regional tournament. Tell me about the regional tournament.
Wow. Well, the regional tournament was tough for us. We played a team that we had previously played 2 or 3 times before in Bishop Kelly, and they're a tough team. They don't quit playing. Mm-hmm. You got to beat them all 4 quarters, and so that was a tough one for us in Bishop Kelly. And then we move on to the from Bishop Kelly we played Claremore for the area, and that was a straight, just very stressful game for us. And then like before that, it was the area championship Coweta, which was just tough. We didn't come to play, I believe, and Coweta was ready to play. They believed they wanted a shot back from when we previously beat them at the BOK Center, and it was a tough matchup for us. Just getting up to play them. But again, we came back and played against Claremore, which was a good team, and it was just stressful. It was, and so I believe we came out on top, and it was a good win for us. It was battle tested, and so
it was interesting. Score. I mean, at halftime, 15-14.
Right.
Yeah, and then 38-28, 31-28. But
right.
I thought that it really was a more exciting game to be that low scoring.
Right.
There's a lot of change of possessions.
Yes, and I felt like usually the games are at those, with those lower scoring, you would think that it was just, you couldn't hit his shots. I believe it was just a good defensive game.
I agree.
I really do. I really believe both sides played good defense.
I think there were some good shots made, some critical shots.
Right.
Critical times in the game. So talk about some of your players that have gotten you to this place.
I always start with my seniors. Nikhil Cullum, she had a good game. I believe she led us with 14 points. Also, we had one of our freshmen stepped up real big, as in Reagan quarters. She just defensively, she's just a hound. I mean, she's very quick.
Very quick.
Oh yeah, she's very lightning speed to where she can just make you switch directions at any given time, and she can frustrate you if you're not confident in your ball handling.
And she also made a pretty good three.
Right. She stole the ball at half court and shot it for that was a good shot. Actually, it checked. Great momentum swing going into halftime. It was so that she played well as a freshman, and just being in that environment, never been there before, and she played like it was just a regular game to me, honestly. So she stepped up. Cornée Love, another junior that she just plays good basketball. She's a good leader as far as just playing hard, getting rebounds and things like that. She's small, but she will grab a rebound. So we just had good some good play from just our guards and everything, and we had a good game.
Well, let's talk about your first round in the state tournament.
Ardmore. Good team, great team. I believe every team at this point is good.
They're good. The best state in 5A.
It's the best state, right. So every team is good. Ardmore, they had some good quality wins this year. I believe they beat a good 6A opponent in Tapalpa. They're a good team, and it's going to be a tough matchup for us. I believe both teams are looking at each other in the mirror. Honestly, both sides are both athletic and can get up after you and get some good scores. So I think we're looking at each other in the mirror.
So you open up.
We open up at Owasso at 3:30.
3:30 in the afternoon. We have 3 of our games at 3:30 in the afternoon. So we're going to be split all over the city trying to watch everybody play. But that'll be a good venue, and of course. Ardmore does have a storied athletic program for years and years and years down there. So, well, good luck. I hope that the Lady Ropers get past that first round.
I do too.
And we'll be playing on Friday, because then we might be able to have a chance to have everybody come see you play, because you'll be at one location. Be back to the Mavy Center. So as we get ready to finish up championship week, it's been a great year for you.
Thank you.
And regardless of what happens, Carlin, to attain that number 1 ranking most of the year is a testament to you and your coaches and of course your student athletes.
Thank you.
We wish you good luck this week, and when we come back, we're going to have Conley Phipps, who's the head basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Plastic bottle, cooler, laundry basket. The correct answer is plastic bottle. Plastic bottles and jugs are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. But coolers and laundry baskets should be thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the head boys basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School, Conley Phipps. And Conley, it's been a great run so far.
Yep, we're looking forward to the state tournament this weekend. Got a tough first round game with Putnam City West, but we've been playing well, and guys are confident, so we're looking forward to the challenge.
I bet that you came through your area and regional pretty unscathed. Is everybody well?
Yeah, we played well, and we're healthy, knock on wood, and we don't have any sickness or injuries or anything like that, so we're good to go.
We got to keep that corona away, don't we?
That's right.
Oh my goodness. It is a great time of the year. The state tournament, there's nothing like it. And you see it ratchets up every week from the region to the area to the state tournament. How do your kids get through that and still be regular students going to school every day?
Well, I think, for us, we've had some experience doing that. The excitement of the playoffs, and then the rigors of Booker T. And, a lot of my guys have been through this 3 or 4 years, even with Coach Redmond. And So, they do a good job balancing that. But, it's an exciting time of year, but we talked to them about how you got to be sure you're taking care of business in the classroom as well.
Isn't it really a good thing that Trey and Bryce both had that college thing out of the way early, and now they can just really concentrate on basketball?
I think it's worked out well. They got that, decision made, and really, so for a long time, for a few months now, their number one priority has been playing well at the right time and trying to get us back to the state tournament, and then, hopefully have a chance to play for another state championship.
Well, obviously you play Putnam West. If that would work out well, which we think that it will, who's on the other side of the bracket you think you might have to beat to win the state championship? Well,
on our side, we get past PC West, and we would have the winner of Jinx Edmond Memorial. Two really good teams, and then on the other side of the bracket, you've got Union that plays Southmore. Southmore has all 5 starters back from a semifinalist team. We were fortunate to beat them last year in the semifinals. And then you've got Midwest City playing Sand Springs. And of course, Sand Springs and Union and Jinx both, Frontier Valley schools, had great years. All 3 of those teams have won 20 games. And big time basketball, Midwest City, highly ranked in the state, and so there's 8 really good teams in the state tournament. No easy games, and it's just survive and advance.
What really impresses me, I think, when you look at the 6A bracket, is the level of coaching.
It's phenomenal. You and I have talked about it. Just the Frontier every night. Mm-hmm. The team you're playing is going to be prepared, and they're going to be well coached, and I think that's the exact same way it is in the state tournament. I mean, most of those coaches, if not all of those 8 teams, have either been to the finals or won state championships, mm-hmm. and so you better do your best to prepare and give it everything you had for that 32 minutes and be ready to go.
Do you do anything different? Obviously, you're playing a wide range of times from one day to the next. How do you keep that continuity with your players to have them feel comfortable?
Well, we try to, I'm a routine guy. I'd be easily assassinated. I'm at the same place every day at the same time. And so I try to do that as best I can with our guys. And even though it may be a different tip-off time, we're going to do the same thing going backward. So what we do 2 hours before tip-off, whether that tip-off's at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night, it's going to be the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's the way I do it. I think that helps. Obviously, you can adjust that a little bit, but we try to stay on a routine as best we can.
I think that's important for the kids to feel comfortable. That's just one more thing they don't have to worry about.
Right.
We know we're going to do this at this time and so on. So as you get ready to play, tell us a little bit about Putnam West.
Well, this is the 8th straight year they've been in the state tournament, which that's pretty good. Yeah. I think that says a lot about their coach, Lenny Burt, and their program. They've got a high major player, Rondell Walker, going to Oklahoma State. They've got another very experienced guard, Marcus Warrior, really good player, 2 or 3 year starter for them. They've got a couple of guys that have played well for them. They've got some shot makers. They play extremely hard. We'll see a lot of pressure. We're going to have to handle the pressure, and going to have to do a good job defending them. They're a good offensive team.
And having been there 8 times.
Yeah, a lot of experience. It won't, the stage won't be too big for them for sure.
No, that'll be great for them. But it looks like a great week. I think the weather's going to be okay, and we have a little rain, but everything, and should have big crowds. So good luck this week in the state tournament. We hope to have you back in 2 weeks with that gold ball sitting here.
I appreciate it, Coach. I hope so.
And when we come back, we're going to have Mick Wilson, the Deputy Director of Athletics, and he's going to go through all the 4A, 5A, and 6A brackets and make his predictions on who might come out ahead.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Glass bottle, string lights, ceramic mug. The correct answer is glass bottle. Glass bottles and jars are perfect for the city of Tulsa's blue recycling cart, but string lights and ceramic mugs should be donated or thrown away in the gray trash cart. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. This is our last segment today, and we've got Mick Wilson, the Deputy Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, my partner, and he's going to go through the brackets with us. He's our basketball guru, and he's going to be able to tell us how these tournaments are going to come out. Mick, what do you think?
Well, I tell you what, call me a guru. I'm not sure I've ever been called that, Gil. I don't know whether that's an insult or a compliment, but we'll go with it. Yeah. No, it's a great time of year for basketball, and it's been this past weekend was a great weekend for our teams. Could have been better for a couple others, but at this point we have to be happy with where we're at, and we've continued a great legacy in Tulsa Public Schools with our basketball, top to bottom, both girls and boys, and it's going to be a great week looking ahead to the state championship weekend. So, really, you'll probably start with 4A boys. And I got to watch Webster play this past weekend, both games, and was really impressed with not only the performance top to bottom, but just the way they conducted themselves and how hard they played. Great sportsmanship, but also very humble in their wins. And Anthony Pritchard right now has really solidified in my mind probably on Friday night that he's probably one of the top 5 players in the state next year coming back as a senior. He's just a junior, obviously, but his play, and of course, didn't play so well on Saturday night, but a big part of that was that Fort Gibson double-teamed him all over the floor a lot of times, and they played that zone and really guarded him well, and that's part of the reason why some of the other kids were able to step up and make a lot of threes and look really well. But I think Webster coming in with matchup against Heritage Hall, who Heritage Hall was in the Tournament of Champions, and Trey Alexander is arguably probably the best player as a junior in next year's class in the state. So that'll be a great matchup for them. I think you're going to see some really good basketball. And if we're fortunate to come out on top there, then a rematch with the defending state champions. Probably, I think Kingfisher against Classen will be an interesting game. But if Kingfisher comes out of that, then that'll be a true test. And a little foreshadowing, Kingfisher coming to the Tournament Champions next year, Webster coming to the Tournament Champions. So you're going to see some really good 4A basketball on that side of the bracket.
No question, and I think Webster has a very tough road to hoe, right? I mean,
they really do. You look at which side of the brackets are tougher, but it's hard to argue with Kingfisher and Heritage Hall and Webster all on one side. That's a good argument to make. Then you look at 5A girls and Will Rogers with a matchup against Ardmore. That's going to be a really interesting game. Rogers coming off last year being one basket away from being in the semifinals will be an interesting game for them. And along those lines, East Central in their first round matchup, a rematch up with Piedmont. And Piedmont has kind of had East Central's number the last couple of years, so hopefully we'll be able to bounce back and have some revenge there in quarterfinal action with them. And of course, if they both are able to win, then they'll both advance to semifinals and on either side of the bracket. So, we have a chance there where we could have an all TPS final or an all TPS semifinal. In the 5A boys, looking at Memorial, going up against MacArthur, and it's really a pretty tough draw. I mean, all of them at this point, though, Gil, are going to be tough games. And then Edison boys against Shawnee. I like that. I think Edison can cause Shawnee some problems. I really think, not putting any pressure on Michael, but I think that's a first round game that we can get. So I like our chances on the boys of either one of those teams being able to advance. And then with the Booker T boys in 6A, being able to play against Putnam City West, and that's a tough draw again. Putnam City West coming off from tournament champions last year with some really good players, and I really think that Coach Burt there does a great job. But I like our chances with our backcourt of Phipps and Bryce being able to come out and play well against them. But it's that time of year. I mean, all the games are going to be hard. They're all going to be tough. You got to win them, and you got to try to survive and advance and try to get to that championship game where anything can happen once you're there.
You either win or take inventory. That's the key, you know, and you don't want to do that till Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday would be the ideal day to be checking it in.
Well, I tell you, it speaks volumes to what you've done with the Tournament of Champions selections over the years, the teams that they're playing in this tournament and will be playing in our tournament next year. And I'm not going to say anything at this point, but I am going to say that in 2 weeks we'll have a big announcement about the Tournament of Champions.
We will, and I tell you, Gil, the announcement I'm coming off of this weekend is that got a nice email this morning from the Duke head basketball coach, and Duke won the Class B Boys State Championship, and of course they had a great showing in the Tournament of Champions. And then Garber won the Class A Boys State Championship, Tournament of Champions. So it makes me feel good about where we've been and where we're going. Garber will return to the Tournament of Champions next year. So it's not just me out there alone picking. I think it's some research, and we have a lot of coaches in the district that help us with that as well. Bobby Allison's always given me some good opinions, and Coach Phipps has, and so
our friends down at the Tulsa World.
Absolutely. So Mike and Barry both help us. So it just shows that we've identified a lot of the right teams, and it makes for a good tournament. But it makes you proud that you've got some success in your tournament, and then they go on and it's a small part of you maybe being able to help them a little bit along the way.
Well, and two, I think it is the historic legacy of the Tournament of Champions. People wanting to be involved with that tournament. Next year will be 55 years.
55.
It's amazing to have that tournament run 55 years and be as successful as it is. And we're looking at the next 5 years of being really, really successful. And that's something that we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. But Mick, I'm glad you're here. It's about ready for us to go and get in the car and go watch the basketball game the next 3 days. So look in the paper and get those scores and follow our teams as we try to get 5 state championships here. We'll be back after these words.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Which one of these items can be recycled in the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart? Battery, steel can, thermos. The correct answer is steel can. Aluminum and steel cans are great for the City of Tulsa's blue recycling cart. To dispose of e-waste like batteries, contact the City of Tulsa. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
Hope you enjoyed the show today. It is championship week, and I urge you to get out and watch our teams as we play all over Tulsa. We have 6 teams still in the playoffs. 5 of them are playing in Tulsa County, with Webster being over in the Oklahoma City area. Go and support our student athletes. Soccer season started. Baseball has started as well. Come to our campus and enjoy yourself watching our kids play.